Here we just take a look at the results as the first round of playoffs has concluded, and Anaheim moving on to play the Los Angeles Kings, Minnesota Wild moving on to play the St. Louis Blues, and in the East, Pittsburgh Penguins moving on to play the New York Rangers, and the Detroit Red Wings moving on to play the Montreal Canadiens.
The real dinner.
And we are here with the first game of round 2 between the Minnesota Wild and the St. Louis Blues. And we are set to begin. And we start in Coyle, early goal for Minnesota, and they take a quick 1-0 lead. And Lapierre tying it up halfway through the first. Another power play for St. Louis, nothing on it, and going into the second, a power play for the Blues, and we are still tied here at 1. Shots are in favor of the Wild, and going into the third, a 1-1 game, tight defense here, and we are still tied as this deadlock continues for the better part of the third, and we will. Oh, and no, we won't. Alexander Steen scoring with 43 seconds left, and he breaks the deadlock, and the Blues go on to win game 1, 1-0 or 2-1. They're up 1-0 in the series. The Stars, Miller, Steen, and Lapierre. We are here, Blues and Wild, in this game 2 in the second round. And we started off. And we have a pretty close game here. It looks pretty defensive to start. It looks like Minnesota getting the better on the shots. We go into a scoreless second period. St. Louis on a power play. No goals. And halfway through, we still have a scoreless game. And we are set to enter the third with no goals, and St. Louis on a big power play, but they cannot get anything. Power play Minnesota, nothing. And we have 5 minutes left here, and we are going into a scoreless overtime as nobody's been able to get it. And David Backes scores on Bryzgalov, and that'll end this OT period. So we take a look at the Stars. Ryan Miller posting a shutout, David Backes with the lone goal, and Ilya Bryzgalov, who played a great game. We are here with Game 3 action between the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild. The St. Louis Blues up 2 in the series as we begin Game 3. And here, as we started up, nothing going on in this defensive battle. Shots pretty even here in the first. And there it is, Berglund scoring 1-0 for the Blues to end the first period. Here halfway through, this lead still holding up as the Blues and Wild still pretty even in shots. And to begin the third, just a 1-0 lead, but Jason Pominville tying it up as we are tied here in the third. Power play for Minnesota, but they aren't able to get anything as we're almost done, and it looks like we are going into overtime. And overtime, Tarasenko with the goal. Viktor Tarasenko ends it, and St. Louis up 3-0 in the series. And we take a quick look at the 3 stars. Ilya Bryzgalov, the first star, Ryan Miller, the second star, and Patrick Berglund, the third star. And we are here with Game 4 as the St. Louis Blues look to close this series out on the road, but not if the Minnesota Wild can get this win. And we are beginning the third, but first already Brendan Morrow with the early goal. Power play for the Wild, but right after, Steve Ott with the goal, and the St. Louis Blues take an early 2-0 lead here in the first. But Nino Niederreiter with 5 minutes left gets a goal, and right after another goal, but right as the period was about to end, Reeves getting a goal to give the lead back to St. Louis. And here halfway through the second, The Wild down 1, but Zach Parise tying it up with 5 minutes left in the second, and we have a tie game going into the third. In the third, power play, Minnesota can't get anything here. Halfway through the third, still nothing. Tie game, 5 minutes left, and it looks like we are going to overtime as the Minnesota Wilds play out, and they keep it alive. Matt Cook with the goal to keep it going, and the Wild live to fight another day as they keep it going, and they are down 3-1 now. And the stars for this game, Nino Niederreiter, Nate Prosser, and Brendan Morrow. And we are here for Game 5, Wild and Blues. And the Blues looking to finish off the series as they have a 3-1 lead. And there, Vladimir Tarasenko getting the opening goal. Victor Slobodka getting the second goal. But Mikael Granlund with a power play goal. And the Minnesota Wild only down 1. And to end this first period, the Blues up 2-1, 3-1 now after Ott scores to start the period. Power play for Minnesota, and they get a goal right after. Mikael Granlund with his second of the game. Wild only down 1 here. And as we end this second period, the St. Louis Blues up 3-2. Another power play for the Wild, a long one, but they can't get any results. Another power play, no results for them again. And 2 minutes left, and Tarasenko with the empty net goal, and that will clinch the series as St. Louis is moving on to the next round. As we take a look at our 3 stars for the game, Vladimir Tarasenko with the first star, Ryan Miller with the second, and Mikael Granlund with the third.